What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting to Know You, where we have a very special guest tonight. He is very prominent in our community, and we will get to him in just a minute. You can see his picture. Well, if your thumbnail is not there anymore, you can see his picture on the thumbnail. So, but we have a very special guest. But first, I want to get to the chat and the little housekeeping we have. We have make sure you go check out Dean over at The Live Place, Dreamers Empire and The Live Place on YouTube, www.theliveplace.com. Please go check him out. He hosts our show as well as like 85 other shows. So make sure you go check out Dean. Also, my partner channels, Mouse Talk goes live to Tuesdays at 8 o'clock with Dissanity. And he goes live with me on Saturdays with Sports Night. Don't miss that. It's not been much of Sports Night lately because there's no sports. But go check it out. And then Rob Fuzz on at 4 o'clock on Fridays with either Frankie Friday or Pub Talk. Also, my brothers, the This and That crew. We go live at 9 o'clock on Wednesday. Don't want to miss that one this week. It's going to be special. It's going to be the thumbnail will come out tomorrow. You guys will see it. And then we're going to Shup goes live on Saturdays at 9:30, and Zip goes live on Tuesdays at 6:30. Brandon and Dave are doing pop-ups. Go check them out. And of course, we have Disney Dan that goes live on Saturdays at 7 o'clock with Disney Fiasco. So go check out all the people. Everybody's amazing. So welcome in Tim Pruitt, Donna Jaworski, Mike Wheeler, Make It Blue, a Disney Adventure, Timothy Rainwaters, It's Joey's World, Michelle Gannon, Andrea Houston, Big Noah 5, Big Noah Mountain 5, Rachel Fithian, Jonathan Chong, Andrew Benning, Ryan McDowell, LSU Mom, Bill Steffen, The Hitchhiking Bones, AJC Magic TV, LSU Mom, Mickey Fan 71, aka Lisa, James Ryan, Piglet Roo Loves Disney, Julie C, Captain Akron 27, Annie Coog 86, Rob Wieska, Pam Spam, Thina Amazing, Michelle the Quilter, Karen Cook, Kathy Parlapiano, Stacey Rogers, Jenny Faye, UK, Shelly Deerdorf, Judy, Julie C, and it's jumping. Stevie Lee, Pete McDevitt, Nathan Rada, what's up, buddy? Marguerite Nagy, Zippity Doodad, what's up, brother? Alex Brunner, Julie McCowan, Deborah Doodles, Kay Atwood, moving again. Lady Jamers, welcome in. Pearl Manhattan, Christine Hickman, Pete McDevitt, what's up, buddy? Gary B, welcome in. Nikki Walker, welcome in. Joy Sanudo, thank you for being here. And Marshmallow Man, what's up, brother? Thank you guys for being here so much. Samantha Lowe, welcome in. Every time I say I think I'm done. Oodalali Lane, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I find more people. So I love it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here every time you guys come in. Okay, so big Disney fan, welcome in as well. And I saw somebody else. Where'd you go? Mom Resort TV 1, welcome in. Melissa Gower, thank you for being here, guys. Marguerite Nagy, Joey's best bud. Keith, what's up, buddy? Mouse Talk, welcome in Mouse Talk, guys. Don't miss Mouse Talk tomorrow. Again, my partner channel goes live at 8 o'clock tomorrow with Dissanity. And Kay Atwood, I saw you too. I think I said you, but Nick Gates, welcome in. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and skip back to the bottom. And Dad Resort TV, welcome in. Guys, if you missed Jenna's premiere today, it was on Neuschwanstein Castle. Definitely go check it out. It was amazing. Extraordinary, welcome in as well. Jersey Mike, what's up, buddy? But definitely go check out Jenna's premiere. It was Neuschwanstein Castle. Just brilliant. But I want to get to my special guest today because he is somebody that we all know in the chat. He has been absolutely incredible. His story is phenomenal, which we'll get into in a minute. And mods, if you would please, I would like for you, Myers and the Mouse, welcome in as well. I would like the mods to be posting his the link to his stream all night, and it's in the description down below. So, guys, I really want to push him over 100 subs so he can get his vanity, and he's going to start posting. We'll get into that in a minute. But so, mods, if you would please throughout the night, please post his link. And without further ado, guys, my guest tonight, as you saw, is Chris from Bluenose352. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Hi, everyone.
So you obviously, I think for the first time, we're on This and That last week. Was it last week or was it the week before? It was last week.
Last week, yep.
Last week. Brian Eisenhower, welcome in. So Hannah Anderson, welcome in as well. Thank you very much. And Dreamers Empire, welcome in. You got a lot of people coming in to see you, man. So people love you. You're well respected within this community. But I want people to get to know you a little better because your story is absolutely incredible. Saria Myers, thank you for being here. And let's just start with that. Whatever you would like to divulge to everybody, tell people, basically, just tell us about your life. What do you want to tell people?
Oh, let's see. Well, I've had a pretty rocky health background.
Mhm.
I had, technically, I still have diabetes. I was diagnosed at five
Oh, wow.
years old. And for 31 years, I, I, my diabetes really wasn't all that stable. Um, I was a brittle diabetic. I had constant seizures. Um, I want to say between 2005 and 2015, I probably had well over 200 visits to the ER.
Oh, wow.
Um, 2011 was a really bad year. I was driving. My blood sugar was very high, and I tried to control it with insulin. Um, and I went grocery shopping, and before I knew it, my blood sugar dropped immediately within a half hour. Um, I had a low blood sugar, but I didn't even know it. The usual symptoms weren't there, but I was out of it. I was sort of in a dreamland. Uh, Somehow I was able to get out of the store. Somehow the cashier had let me go through. I don't even remember going through, checking out. I got into my car and sat there to let it warm up for a little bit. It was the middle of winter, and my mind had shut down, but it was sort of like my body took over. So without me actually knowing, I started driving.
Wow.
I ended up in a really bad accident. I ended up in the hospital for about a week and a half. Broken right hand. Um, my blood sugar when they checked, my blood sugar dropped down to 16. A normal blood sugar is anywhere from now they say 70 to 110.
You say
I was down to 16. Yeah.
Wow.
What else? And from that point on, I still continued having multiple seizures. No matter what I did, my blood sugars were just on this roller coaster. There would be times when I would end up in the ER 2 or 3 times a week. It was that bad.
Wow.
And then 2015 came around. I finally went into, because I was stage 5. I had stage 5 kidney disease, which basically would put me on dialysis.
Wow.
But my doctor tried to keep me off of dialysis as much as possible and tried to get me on the transplant list. So I finally signed up to a hospital in Chicago, and I went to a couple of evaluations, one for a kidney and another for pancreas. It took some doing. There was a lot of testing that had to be done, a lot of blood draws, a blood draw at least once a month, which I still do, and it was sent to I can't think of the organization right now. Basically, it's one that will match you with any donor that's out there. And 3 months later, after being put on the list, I got the call. and that story alone, I was actually the secondary recipient. I wasn't the primary.
Wow.
The primary had to go through some testing, and they told me about the condition of the donor. He was a 27-year-old, and I thank goodness for him and his family. Thank goodness for him for signing up. That evening, they told me that his family had decided to take him off of life support. And they told me the condition of the primary recipient, saying that he still had to go through some testing. But I wouldn't get the results of the test until 1 o'clock in the morning, or they wouldn't. But I wouldn't be notified until 1 o'clock in the morning whether I was getting it or not. So my transplant coordinator said, "Do you want me to wait until later on that morning to tell you if you aren't the primary?" I said, "No, let me know right away. I'm going to get ready just in case, but if it's not me, I will be more than happy that the primary received the pancreas and the kidney." So I got ready, had everything packed, jumped in the shower, and about 1:30 in the morning, my phone rang, and my transplant coordinator asked me, how you doing? How was your shower? Everything else, just kind of like small talk. And then she said, "Well, guess what?" And I said, "What?" She said, "You're up." And I froze. I was like, "Oh, what do you mean I'm up?" She said, "You're the primary. You have to be here in Chicago at 4 o'clock in the morning. You have to check in through the ER, and we're going to place you on the transplant floor, and we're going to prepare you for your transplant surgery for 8 o'clock in the morning." Eventually, it was pushed back till 9 o'clock, but then after I think it was about a 10 or 11-hour surgery, I received two new organs at once, and a new chance at life. It's
absolutely,
couldn't have asked for a better gift.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, man. Real quick, I want to welcome in a few people here. Preston McDevitt, Team Marine Photography, Leanne Sherbick, Nikki Walker, Dreamers Empire, Candy Mom 15, Lana Stone, Doe Jeff, Avery Cuban American, Tina McNeil. Also, guys, if you have not done so, please, Sarah 4382, welcome in as well. Keep putting his Bluenose's channel in here. Chris's, he started at 62 tonight. You're up to 88, so I want to get you over 100. It's happened a lot faster than I thought it would. But if you guys have not done so, please subscribe to this guy. He's just amazing. We'll get into that. So that is absolutely incredible. First off, I didn't even know you could do a pancreas transplant. I didn't think that was possible. But that, I mean, for all those people out there that have ever contemplated it, this right here is living proof why you should sign up to be a donor, because he's been obviously the recipient of it. It was a kidney and a pancreas. Is that correct?
Yeah, a kidney and a pancreas. Yep.
Kidney and a pancreas. And with that, he's sitting here being able to talk to us. Mary Kehoe, welcome in. To do this. So if you guys have ever considered it, please make sure you go. And you're only 3 away apparently, so from 100.
Oh.
So,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
But this is living proof why we should be, in my opinion, why we should be donors, because it can help somebody like this man. Congratulations on 100, Chris. By the way, you're there. So, but don't stop there.
You.
Please keep pushing. Again, we'll get into that reason why I want that in a minute. So thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you guys. So anyway,
thank you, everyone.
Yes. I love you guys. You guys are the best. And the amount of blue hearts that I've seen fly up across this thing are out of this world. Bill, Magic of the Mouse TV, welcome in. So you go through this process, and now I know recently especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, you have to be very. When did your transplant happen?
4 years ago,
4 years ago?
May 21st, 2016.
So is there a, and I'm just trying to be educated here. Is there a clearing of when you, like I'm assuming it's taken now. You know what I mean? That there's an adaptation period.
Oh yes, yes. Usually the first year is very scary. Everything is still fresh. Everything is still very fragile. The new organs, as they call them, sleepers. Because they're taken from one body and put into another body.
Mm-hmm.
So the organs have to try and get used to the new body. The other interesting thing is they don't take anything out. I still have my original kidneys, so I have 3 kidneys.
Wow.
And 2 pancreas. Yeah. It's quite a story to tell anyone, like, hey, look at me, I'm just filled with all sorts of organs. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. The only things that they replace, I believe, are the heart and maybe the lungs, if they, or it could be just small pieces of the lung or small pieces of the liver. So
do you have both? So both of them actually work together?
The kidneys or the pancreas?
Like your 3 kidneys all work together. Your 2 pancreas.
Yes, the new kidney is doing most of the work, but the other 2 kidneys, yeah, my what they call my native kidneys, they're still working, just not as well.
Yeah.
And I know if she's in here, Amy, AJC Magic TV, she knows she's a kidney recipient.
Oh wow.
As well. And she knows how everything works too. It's quite a process on how everything works. Like I said, the organs, they're sleepers. It takes a while for them to get used to the body. Your medications usually bounce around for the first year. You can't have. You have to be really careful on places that you go, things that you touch. And I'm still careful with that. I still wear a mask, especially in wintertime. I'm wearing a mask everywhere. But if if I go to the hospital for blood work, or if I go to a doctor's appointment, I'm wearing a mask. And a lot of people ask me, well, are you sick? And I say, no, I'm protecting myself, so it's very touchy as far as our immune system. Our immune system has to remain low, otherwise our immune system will reject the new organs. So I have to take medications, and Amy has to take them too, medications to keep our immune system low. Wow. Otherwise our organs, our body says, hey, what is this? And
that puts you at risk.
Get that out of
there for to catch something then.
Right. Yeah. What their main concern is skin cancer.
Oh wow.
We have to be careful when we're out in the sun, so they ask us to wear like a long sleeve shirt, which is horrible. Yeah, in 90-degree weather. It's just terrible. But like if I have a flight suit on, it's fine. And I won't even say what I've got underneath the flight suit. Never mind. That's just a whole completely different story. So, but yeah, I mean, a flight suit is nice and airy. But wearing jeans or a long sleeve shirt in the middle of summer,
can imagine.
Horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
Real quick, we got a $5 super chat from T Marie Photography that says, "Thank you for the stream, Steve. Good to see you both. Choo choo." Thanks, T Marie. It's going to jump here in a minute, but I got to find the rest of them. There was a $4.99 super chat from Zippity Doodad. We love you, Bluenose352, Chris. We can't thank you enough for all your love and support across this whole community. I definitely double saying that. Donna Jaworski, $9.99 super chat says, Chris is another of my little brothers. He is my hero and a warrior in every sense of the word. Love you, Chris and Steve. Could not agree more with Donna. And then we got $10 from Myers and the Mouse. As soon as it pops up, there it is. Chris, we love you, brother. So inspirational. So glad you were here and such a great part of this community. Thank you, Steve. This is great. Thank you, guys. And everybody, if I missed you, do Fully Crew, welcome in. Sister Gigi, if I missed you guys, I apologize. I had it saved so I wouldn't miss the messages. So thank you guys very much. So that's amazing. And speaking of, so you wear a mask even before this whole thing going on in the world right now. Yes. You do that just to protect yourself as well. Something I think is pretty neat, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of them here shortly, is now that this is this is required a lot of different places. They're coming up with some really cool designs with Disney designs and things like that. I actually saw some that are like half masks. They go all the way around and come down your neck, and they're like Star Wars. The spread shirts have them now. We have them all with our logos on them and everything, which I was kind of hoping mine would be in so I could show you what it looked like, but it didn't come in today. But Happy Hopper, welcome in. But so that's like an everyday thing for you. And will it be for the rest of your life?
No. I personally don't think so. I could, and it could differ from person to person. I could go without a mask. Usually at air shows, I will try and keep my distance from people. Up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, the air show of air shows, that's a little bit hard to do. It's usually shoulder to shoulder as far as people are. So, but I do have a mask with me just in case.
That's good.
In the wintertime, no matter what, whether my doctors tell me, no, you don't need to wear it anymore, you're fine. I'll always have a mask on. I did probably one of the stupidest things within that year of my transplant. I went without a mask. Ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks because I had what's it called? Adenovirus, which is like a typical cold to anyone else, but to me it's like the flu times 10.
Wow.
It put me in the hospital for 2 weeks, and they put me through every test possible, and I mean every test. They checked me from top to bottom anyway, and the bottom line was, hey, you've got something similar to a cold. Oh, okay, that's nice. And it put me in the hospital for 2 weeks. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So after that point, and they believed that I got it from, I was still having blood work done every month. They believed that I picked it up in the hospital where I was having the blood work done.
Wow.
So from that point on, I was wearing a mask.
When I know, especially, I know, well, first off, welcome in Dale, Jenna, and Jim with More Sunshine, please. Thank you guys for being here. You recently, well, not too recently, I guess a few months maybe, I know you told me that you were in the hospital again for a couple of weeks, and they were very concerned because with everything going on in the world right now, you were actually on that wing, were you not?
Yes.
The COVID wing?
Which my doctors weren't too happy about. I was, they wanted to be in my transplant team. They wanted to be in the hospital because I had high fever and I had some of the COVID symptoms. So instead of just letting it go, they said, yeah, we need you here. We need you in Chicago now. And I went in, and they had placed me on a regular floor at first, which I don't know if everyone's seen some of the pictures from my hospital room of, like the heart on the building for everyone. And that was on the regular floor. They didn't want me on the transplant floor because, there are new recipients in there that they can't get sick. So I was there for a couple of days, and they said, well, we're going to place you on the all COVID floor. And I thought, okay, this is scary, and I'm about ready to run out of this hospital, but okay. And so they placed me on the floor, and my transplant team, they were outraged. They said, get him off that floor now. But while I was on that floor, it truly was sad. I saw the exhaustion in the nurses, all the nurses' faces. Even the doctors coming in, they were just exhausted. They were working long hours, and Northwestern was one of the hospitals with, I'd hate to say it, but they have had some of the most deaths from COVID. And I could see that on everyone's face. So a lot of them were, the emotion in their face was unbelievable. So I was on that floor for just one night, and then they placed me back on the regular floor, and they wanted to keep an eye on me. The doctors on that floor wanted to let me go, but the transplant team said, no, we need to keep him a little bit longer because we need to make sure that he's 100% okay, otherwise he'll end up back in here. So yeah, probably one of the scariest times in my life.
That is crazy.
Other than having the accident, and then back in 2014, my heart almost stopped at one point. Yeah, I've been through quite a bit.
It's crazy, man.
But
welcome in, Disney World Freak, Brandy and Dave, Kidani, Sean, welcome in, guys. So it just amazes me that everything you've gone through, and then above all that, you still remain humble. And just like you just told the story, you're in there going through, it sounds like everything. And the thing you still think of the most is, you pay attention to the nurses and see how they feel, and you care about how other people feel, and you call other people your inspirations. And it's crazy how humble you are with everything, especially through everything that you've been through. And it's just extremely admirable. And I know I and a lot of other people hugely respect you for that. So it's just amazing.
I love putting people first. I kind of put myself to the side, and I see how everyone else is. Like I said, Pete, huge inspiration. Everything that he's been through, and now he's back pretty much 100%. As as Shep said, it didn't even skip a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big inspiration. Yeah, I put everyone else ahead of me. Everyone else is on my mind other than, obviously, yeah, I have to keep my own health in check, but I worry or I think about everyone else just to make sure that everyone else is okay.
You're just amazing, man. And I'm a Christian. I believe things happen for reasons, and I thank God that something happens to get you. People like you deserve to be better than you've been treated in this life, but it also makes you the person that you are. So you're just an amazing man. I really respect you a lot. So
thank you. And you are too. And there's so many of you in this community. And I love every one of you. You know, every one of you, we all have our own stories, and getting to know everyone, their backgrounds, what they've gone through. I know Donna and I have talked quite a bit, and she really is, you know, the angel of the community.
Mhm.
She's right at the top there as far as you know. She's constantly happy and always positive. She's always positive. I mean, you know, she's positive in checking how everyone's doing. She loves in the chat. She says hi to every single person in the chat, and I wish that I could do that.
Mhm.
I wish that I could keep up with everyone in the chat, and I know that I miss people in the chat, and it's like I feel bad for missing people in the chat. She was the first one that said hi to me when I was getting more and more involved with Resort TV1, and she was the first one that it was like an instant friendship with. Because she was positive. She's always positive. She's like the welcome person, you know.
She has that effect on people. So
yeah.
Welcome in Steamboat Disney. So I mean that's an amazing story. You're just incredible. Pete McDevitt, $1.99 super chat. Chris has my respect. I kept my head to use her. I think he meant. Thanks, Pete. We appreciate that, buddy. So let's talk about, if you don't mind, your channel. It's called Bluenose352. Is that a certain type of plane? Was that your call sign? Why Bluenose352?
I follow. It's. Let me see if I could try and shorten this story down. One of my friends who owned a P-51 Mustang had a blue nose. Well, first of all, my favorite color is blue. Mm-hmm. So before even finding out about this fighter group decades ago, I loved his P-51, you know, blue nose. And then I looked up the history of the fighter group where this P-51 came from. I found out that it was the 352nd Fighter Group from World War II, and went to a few of their reunions. All the pilots, great World War II pilots. You know, their stories that they could tell, amazing. Everyone else in the Fighter Group Association, the 352nd Fighter Group Association, they're all great. All great people. Hilarious too, some of the stories that they tell. So I decided to go with Bluenose 352 in honor of the 352nd Fighter Group.
That's awesome. And from your, if you guys don't know, if my mods would also please post, again, we're posting Chris's YouTube channel for reasons we'll get to in just a minute. Also, I want you to post his Instagram, please, because you have some incredible, absolutely incredible pictures on your Instagram. I don't understand how you got them all. The one you had, I think it was today, where you saw, I want to talk about that one specifically. Okay. Pete McDevitt, $4.99. I meant tip my hat, and we got one hand. Give me a break. So, Pete, see, Pete's great too. I love you, Pete. Thanks, buddy.
Love you, Pete. You're awesome.
So you posted a picture. I think it was today. I was looking at it today. Let's put it that way. And you had a picture out of two airplanes.
Yes.
One was called Barbie 3, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Which was the first. You said you were a maintenance tech, I believe. You took care of that, and it was the first plane you ever rode in. Can you tell?
Well, that was the first warbird. A warbird is basically any military plane, and there's a little bit of controversy there. You know, people say, well, modern military aircraft, they really aren't considered warbirds, and on and on and on. Barbie 3 was the first warbird that I had flown in. After that, for the next 6 to 7 years, I crewed Barbie 3 and maintained her. Yeah.
That's crazy. That was a gorgeous picture, by the way.
Oh, you got to thank the airshow stuff guys. They took that picture. If it was me, I wouldn't be taking the picture of that plane. I'd be riding riding inside Barbie 3.
Yeah.
So,
Tanya Jane McKee's Magic, welcome in as well. So your love for aviation, how did you get into aviation? Talk about, if you don't mind, talk about some of the shows you go to. What's a daily, what is this interest? Is this a hobby? Is it more than a hobby? How did you get into this?
I would say it's started out as a hobby and ended up becoming like an obsession in a way. Aviation has always been in my life. I think the earliest that I can remember, I was either it was either my 3rd or 4th birthday, and I got a little toy helicopter and like a little metal airplane, and from that point on, it's been aviation. There was one point when I lived about a mile away from O'Hare Airport, and that was my playground. I'd be out there watching planes flying in, taking off, every day. Loved it. Top Gun came around, and hey, always wanted to be Maverick.
I did too, but
yeah, right.
I got stuck with Goose because I said, "Why did you guys give me the guy that dies?" They said, "Because if you died, it would be a tragedy." That's how they convinced me that we have a softball team. We have a group of guys here, and we're all named after one of the members. And of course, I want to be Maverick. They wouldn't let me either. So. Candy Mom 15 said Steve is the next Oprah. He's good at interviews. Thanks so much, Candy Mom. So, so these air shows that you go to, and I know you've got one coming up very close to me, which I may or may not be able to come visit at the same time. Because I'll be honest with you, I've had a very mild love for aviation. I'm fascinated by aviation, but as far as the history, like you're into, I get most of my knowledge now from you, from Instagram. What do these air shows consist of? What's like a general air show and that draws people in to see them?
I know I want to say just the general love for aviation. It's sort of a mix, depending on the air show. It's a mix of people. You have the people that want to see the military. You got the Blue Angels, the Thunderbirds, some of the demonstration teams, and then you've got people that just love general aviation. They want to see, the Piper Cubs and Cessnas and some of the new stuff that comes out. I think mainly what draws people in is the thrill of the air show. You watch aerobatic performers doing things that you would think would be physically impossible.
Oh wow!
They're all athletes in themselves. They have to be as physically fit as possible to handle some of these maneuvers. Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker, he's my aerobatic idol. So is Michael Goulian. If ever you look up either one of those pilots on YouTube, you'll see why.
Who are they again? Sean Tucker and who?
Sean Tucker and Michael Goulian.
Is that Goolian?
Goulian, I believe.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Mainly it's the thrill of the air show, whether it's the aerobatics or whether it's the noise that the military jets make. That draws in a lot of people. Now the ultimate air show is up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And if Lynn's in here, Oshkosh, bagosh, it's kind of an inside joke. That is a week-long air show and convention. I belong to a group, an organization called the Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA, and they host the convention / air show up at Oshkosh each year. Unfortunately, this year is canceled. You could probably see my hat. My hat was from last year.
That's awesome.
And I camp up there for 11 days.
Wow. It's a big air show.
And yeah, it really is. People are usually up there. A lot of the volunteers, and I used to volunteer up there, people who volunteer, they go up there for probably a good month or two before the show.
Wow.
To set up. It's a really big event.
That's awesome. Welcome in, Josh from Resort TV One. Thank you for being here, buddy. Ray J, welcome in. Sandy Pandy, Tiki Man fan. Andrew Bidding wants to know what, if I could ask, what the most G's you've pulled is.
The most that I have pulled is 3. I know, and that's fairly heavy, but not as heavy as some of the aerobatic pilots. Some of the aerobatic pilots, for maybe 2 or 3 seconds at a time, they'll pull up to 9 G's.
Wow. So for those of us like me that have no idea, I know the terminology. Explain to us, if you would, what is a G?
A G is it's the weight of the gravity. So if you pull I'm trying to remember if it's 1 G, it should be your normal weight. If it's 2 G's, then it's twice your weight. So like if you're pulling 2 G's, it's pulling you down basically. So right. Which is why you have to be in incredible shape. Yes, you have to try and flex your legs because all of the blood is trying to rush from your head down to your feet. Wow. So you have to flex your legs, you have to flex the waist, everything, to try and pump that blood, keep that blood to your upper torso of your body. So that is crazy. Otherwise, you'll end up, you'll get tunnel vision, and then you'll eventually pass out. Wow. There's also negative G's, and that's where instead of doing like a basic loop, you're going, overhead, and you're coming out of your straps. All the blood is rushing to your head. So like Tower of Terror? Sort of, yeah. I come off that thing every time, so. Yeah, that's a lot of negative and positive G all at once. It's crazy. It's crazy what they do. Welcome in, Leaky's Bike It. I'm amazed by the pictures you post. Please don't ever stop that. We'll get in. I've got to move on real quick because I want to get to your channel thing. But the first thing I want to ask is, and somebody reminded me in chat because I forgot about it, something that I've actually always wanted to do, and I did a little bit of it, is storm chasing. And that's something else you told me that you were involved in too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your storm chasing adventures? Because the pictures of the tornadoes you posted last week were
unreal. Tell us a little bit about
Thank
that.
you. Well, like most storm chasers, I think the love of storm chasing started out watching The Wizard of Oz. Um, it's always that tornado scene. It's like, oh, I want to see that even more. Um, there was a large EF5 tornado that hit a town in the Chicagoland area back in 1990. That I obviously I didn't storm chase because I was only 10, but I was caught in that storm.
Oh, wow.
And it was terrifying, but it was still very, very interesting at the same time. The sky was a pea green color. There was so much hail, and it was such an unstable atmosphere. And when the sirens went off, it's always when the sirens go off, it's sort of the blood drains from the face and everything. It's like, okay, yep, this is serious, even though it's been serious the whole time. That was actually my second tornado experience. My first one was in 1987 out in Ohio. There was a tornado. We were visiting family, and we were headed out to a lake. It was nice and sunny out, and there was a storm developing behind us. And I'm noticing this little tail coming down. And then I looked behind me again, and I see it coming down even more. And then finally, I yelled out, "Tornado!" At the top of my lungs. And so that was, I want to say, my first funnel cloud that I had seen.
Wow.
From that point on, I really didn't start chasing until 1999. And I was really getting into it. Chased once at night. I'll never do that again. Seeing, it's sort of an adrenaline rush when you see them. And I know that some of the chasers, they go way over the top with excitement. I try to keep cool when I see them, but it's just like at an air show. Everybody gets a thrill out of seeing the jets go by, and you'll hear screaming and whatnot. When you see some of the chasers that go over the top, kind of like Reed Timmer or some of the others that are just screaming like their heads are about ready to explode, they're excited about the tornado, but also chasers, the good chasers, there are good chasers and there are bad chasers. The good chasers, they stop their chase. If there's damage, it all of a sudden goes from chasing a storm to rescue mode, and you let the storm go, and you check on the houses that have been hit just to make sure that everyone's okay. And it's like a mix of emotions, basically. You get excited to see the tornado itself, but then you become concerned when the tornado goes into a highly populated area, and you forget the storm. It goes from excitement to heartbreak, just instant heartbreak. So that's why a lot of the chasers, we tend to hope and pray that the tornadoes, which I know a lot of people will say, well, how can a tornado be beautiful? Tornadoes can actually be beautiful as long as they stay out in the open fields. It goes from, like I said, it's an adrenaline rush. Once you see that tornado or even that funnel cloud coming down, because you don't always know exactly where whether or not that funnel cloud is going to actually touch down. And if it does touch down, how big this tornado will be and exactly what direction it's going to go. But like I said, it could be a mix of emotions, from excitement to fear, to being to your heartbreaking. Feeling so horrible for the people that may have lost a house or some sort of possession.
I think there's no middle ground here. You either are fascinated or you are, I don't want to say petrified, but you're on the other end of the spectrum. It is devastating if for somebody to have to go through any of that. But at the same time, that aspect of nature is so fascinating to me. I just want, like, Twister, although the acting probably could have been better, was incredible. Yeah. It was an incredible movie for me to watch. I thought it was really fascinating how they did that stuff. And I'm hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes. I'm intrigued by it all. Obviously, it can be very devastating and bad. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's something that I want to know more about. And it's something I've been fortunate to have seen 3 tornadoes in my life. Donna said she lived on Tornado Alley for 10 years.
Right. Yep.
That can be crazy. But it can be both beautiful and destructive at the same time.
Yes.
And that's the best. That's the only way I can explain it, because that's the best definition of a tornado, is that it can be beautiful, but yet so terrifying. Yep.
And destructive. Yeah.
Welcome in, Corner Sports and Alyssa and Neil, Disney family. Welcome in, guys. Okay, so we have time flies. We only have about 8 minutes left. Want to go first off, guys? Thank you again, and if the mods would once again please post Chris's his channel. For some reason, it was up at 115 right now. For some reason, it's showing 93 on my end. But if you could please post his channel again. I know he was up over 100. I want to make sure he stays there. What is your goal for your channel? Because we were talking about this beforehand. You're going to start turning this, and there's the reason why I wanted him to be at 100 so that he could start live streaming if he wants to. You're going to be turning this into something special here. What are your plans?
Well, I know that Tim Pruitt and I have been talking about possibly doing a live stream involving aviation, because Tim Pruitt is a certified aircraft mechanic.
Oh, wow. I did not know that about Tim.
And also, there are so many people in the chat that are have a love for aviation. I know Myers and the Mouse, Kelly wasn't involved in aviation. Dole Whip Dad, Jeff, he lives right near an airbase. Mm-hmm. So he gets to see everything flying over his house all the time. Josh, Triple P, big aviation fan. And so many others. Dale's a pilot. Mm-hmm. So we'd like to maybe start something, get a live stream going, and basically talk everything aviation wise. Next year, I would like to start posting some videos. And hopefully I will post if and when I go to Norway. Hopefully next year I'll be able to go to Norway. I will post some videos of my trip. That's swimming awesome. With orcas.
Welcome in, Arjons and Mar in Memphis. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, you were telling me about that too. I mean, you're okay. So you're going to Norway. One of the things that you're going to do you told me, is swim with orcas.
Yes.
I don't know if, I'm sure there are, but I have never seen a video of somebody, especially that I know, swimming with orcas in there. And those are kind of amazing life experiences that we probably want to see. So I'm definitely encouraging you to make sure that you get some of these videos up, man. The storm chasing, aviation, it all.
I definitely will. I'm gonna have to look out for pictures and videos on YouTube. Probably post little clips of videos on Instagram. Maybe even on Facebook. You know, it's going to be amazing. I instantly went from wanting to kayak with orcas to swimming with them.
That's insane. I love that.
So I can't wait. It'll be great. And there's a lot of misinformation about orcas out there. And I know that a lot of them that are in captivity, the ones in captivity have a different behavior than the ones in the wild. The ones in the wild, they're just like gigantic, gentle giants, really. They'll not walk. They'll swim up to you, and they'll look you over. You know, they're not looking at you as a meal. That's a whole different story in itself too. They're curious. They're highly intelligent, and they're curious. So the way that we look at orcas, they're looking at us the same way. They can, what they have is echolocation, where they can sense our heartbeat. They can see our bone structure. And they could do this from well over 200 yards away.
Wow.
Swimming. So they already know that you're not on their menu, so to speak.
Yeah.
As far as prey. So they'll come up and just to verify, to see what you look like, they'll swim up to you. And if they're really interested, they'll turn around and they'll come back to you, and they'll try and vocalize with you.
Wow.
They'll let out their little squeaks, you know, their vocals, and yeah, it'll be really neat. I can't wait.
Well, I definitely can't wait. And
I'll be swimming with humpback whales too.
That's insane. See, those are the kind of things I enjoy too. I wanted to also be a marine biologist at one point in time. Obviously, that didn't happen either. I'm fascinated by the life and Earth and nature and all that stuff. So
you and I have so many same likes. It's crazy. Like Animal Kingdom. You and I both love Animal Kingdom, and I'm huge on animal and environment conservation.
Yes.
I just it's incredible. You know.
Yep. I'm the same way. I like to know how animals work, how all that stuff is. It's just a fascinating life, and I just want to know more about it. It's just amazing. Yeah, so
it is.
But we have come to, we only have 2 minutes left. Guys, if you could please put Mickey's Magic's link to the link to Mickey's Magic Meg's channel in here. We're gonna go over there here in just a minute. Buddy, I cannot thank you enough for joining us, telling your story. It has been an absolute honor, and we definitely have to do this again. We didn't even get to anything Disney, so we'd love to have you back in the future to discuss how we got into the Disney community. So
sounds good. Well, thank you for inviting me on, and truly honored to be on here, and thank you to the community. You know, I love every one of you. You're all you know, this is just one big family, and I love every one of you.
Yeah, and Kay, I see that, Kay. That's funny. Thank you. Kay shared me. She sent me a thing about lions. I like, but yeah, that's another story. So, but thank you. No, Siri, I did not talk to you, Siri. Sorry. Thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate you. You're just an amazing individual, not only of the stuff you've gone through, but the way you live your life and the way you portray yourself. So from everybody in the chat and myself, Deborah Doodles, welcome in. Thank you so much for this. And I'm glad we got to know you a little better.
Well, thank you. And I just like I said, I love this whole community, and I love Disney. You know, you're all my Disney family. You know, you all mean so much to me, and so glad to be here. So glad to be here with all of you, and especially you, Steve. I mean, thank you for inviting me on. This is unbelievable. You know, this is great.
It's been amazing, buddy. Thank you very much. And welcome in, Private Princess Fred. Guys, everybody, please go over and check out Meg. She's going live right now. Thank you all so much for being here. We can't do this without you. And thank you all for helping. Make sure you're following Chris because he does a lot of good stuff on Instagram. He's going to have a lot of amazing things coming up on YouTube very shortly. So thank you all. Have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, thanks, everybody.